All right, I'm live. I can see you. I see comments. I'm messing with my camera, trying to make it a little easier to see. All right, what is happening with Facebook? There we go. Okay, so today I really wanted to do a scrapbooking workshop. And I've had this Memories in Bloom workshop for a couple of months now, and I haven't even touched it. It's still new in the package. Memories in Bloom is in the catalog, in the main catalog on page 15, and it shows the pages, finished pages here. I think the pictures just don't do it justice. And so I thought, I want to do these pages, and they're simple looking pages. So I'm hoping, I can get all three done in under 2 hours, which is probably about right for 3 2-page layouts. If I poop out before then, I'll do the other later. Part of this set, if you love the paper but you don't scrapbook, on page 41 on for a little bit in the catalog, it does show this paper pack is available separately with some gems, some coordinating scrapbook or stamps and dies, and it's like, basically it's a suite that you can buy all at once or in bits and pieces. And this particular set has been shown a lot on social media. And so if you are somebody who really likes this, for some reason they decided to start the catalog out with kits and easy to put together kind of things. And the scrapbook workshops ended up in the front of the catalog because of that. And then the paper packs and suites are farther back. So that's why it's separated. But all of this coordinates with all of this. So, hey, whatever. Anyway, I just wanted to show you that. The catalog continues to be a source of confusion for a lot of people. And sometimes me. I don't know. Sometimes me. All right. I'm getting my little project cart ready so I can sort. So I am going to really quick explain what is in here. The instructions for this, there's always an optional technique. Here it is paper folding and tearing. So throughout the project, they will give you an option to tear or fold paper if you want. And so they added that optional technique. You might need a bone folder. Other things that you might need are, of course, adhesive, a paper trimmer, and scissors. I mean, that's not too bad. I would add to that a journaling pen, because the idea is that you get your pictures on there and you journal the stories that are important to you and your family. Now, on the pages themselves, what you'll see is there's little squares indicating this is a 12 by 12 sheet. It tells you how to cut them, which pile to put them in, pile 2, pile 3. It shows you the paper and the orientation, horizontal or vertical, that this will go into, and where to make your first cut with that little scissor. That's your first cut. I may alter that just a little, just because I use a guillotine style trimmer because I'm faster with it. And so sometimes it makes more sense for me to cut it a little differently, but that's okay. So you have a lot of papers. You have this beautiful print, front, back. You have 2 sheets of that. 2 sheets of this purple, teal, blue paper. The back is the green. And then you have a sheet, I think just 1 sheet of this like coral. I don't know what color that is. I should have looked when I was in the catalog. Hold on a minute. it's probably on the back sheet. I'm throwing stuff everywhere. The colors are Bubble Bath, Cloud Cover, Darling Duckling, Garden Green, Granny Apple Green, Peach Pie, Petunia Pop, Pretty in Pink, Secret Sea, Shy Shamrock, Strawberry Slush, Summer Splash, Timid Tiger. Oh my gosh. And that's because every page has all this variety of color, which kind of makes it fun. I was kind of thinking about using these for either some of my gardening pages or maybe some of my Disney pages, because they have so many really cool floral things that we take pictures of that sometimes it's nice to put them on a floral paper. And it's a lot of green when you take scenery pictures at Disney. I think it'll go nicely on here. You get photo placeholders, which sometimes I use and sometimes I don't, so I'm going to set those aside. And then you get all the cardstock that you need. Now, typically, you get the basis and sometimes photo mat, sometimes it gets cut, sometimes it doesn't. And so here's all the cardstock colors. There is a couple sheets of white, there's a sheet of the Darling Duckling. I think this is Granny Apple Green, and some black and Petunia Pop. Look at me knowing my colors. I'm getting better and better every day. Anyway, so I'm just gonna fan these out. I'm gonna set them to the side so I can grab them if I need them or when I need them. The other things that you get in a workshop that you don't get in your normal paper pack is some exclusive paper to this collection. It's usually single-sided. This one has this really beautiful kind of soft teal print. Again, my colors, I don't know if that's Lost Lagoon possibly. I would have to look that up. It might be Summer Splash because I don't remember Lost Lagoon being listed. All right, and then this one has a really cool black print. This is Secret Sea, actually. It looks black on camera, but it's actually a really deep, dark, almost black navy blue. And so those are my exclusive papers. And again, I'm going to fan those out and put those on my cart so I can just grab the sheet I need when I need it. And then the last thing that you usually get like a page of punch outs. That's this page right here. What's nice about the punch outs is then you can sort them to the project you're working on because they're numbered on the back. You can like punch out all the ones, put them in a pile, twos, put them in a pile, you know what I mean? But for now, I'm just gonna leave them intact. And then I have the sticker sheet. Now the sticker sheet is not numbered or marked in any way. And sometimes when I have a lot of time on my hands, I will just quickly rough cut this apart and sort it into my 3 piles so that I know where to put it when I put all the pages together. So we'll see how that goes. All right. I'm gonna zoom out again a little bit. And sorry if I'm making you dizzy. I'm going to use my guillotine trimmer, and I use this often because I find it easier to trim this way just for speed. And so if you're working with me, you can slow me down if you feel like I'm going too fast. All you have to do if you're on YouTube, all you have to do is change the playback speed. I have paint all over this. I've been splattering with white. Okay, so the first piece we're gonna cut is this piece. And in the instructions, you can see it shows it as vertical on the front, and the back should be the splotches going horizontal. And the first piece we're gonna cut is at 8 inches. So I'm just gonna slide that over to the 8, make a cut. Now this is extra, meaning I can make scrapbook pages out of the extra stuff. So I'm starting a pile off to the side of all my extra pieces, and that way I can make even more. I'm going to rotate this, and I'm going to cut this again at 8 inches. So I have this piece that goes in pile 2 and this piece that goes in pile 2. Pretty simple there. The next piece we're going to cut is the same. It is this piece here, and it goes again vertical, and the back, the little orange splotches, should be horizontal. Isn't it weird seeing my guillotine arm on the camera? Okay, so each of these strips are 11.5 inches long and 2.5 inches wide. So when I use this trimmer, I'm at 12 over here. So I go down 1, 2.5, and I cut it. And I need another 2.5. So I go 1, 2.5. And I cut it, and I need another 2.5, so I go down 2.5 and cut it. Now that means this piece right here is totally extra. Tell me you couldn't make a great page just adding from your stash, just using that, right? That'd be awesome. Okay, now these should only be 11.5 inches long, so I'm going to stack them up. That's another benefit of the guillotine style, is that you can cut so many at once. And then these are also scraps. I don't know whether to keep them or not, but I'm going to throw them in my scrap pile. And these go in pile 3. All right, next page. So the next thing that we are going to cut is this piece right here, this floral, and it shows it vertical. It doesn't have a, I mean, the front has a direction. Obviously the flowers are growing up. The back is not directional. And this one, we need a 4 by 12, so we're going to slide it over 4 inches. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. I'm at the 8-inch mark. Boom. There is my 4 by 12 that I just cut off, and it goes in pile 2. Just so you know what I'm doing, I'm going to show that to you. 4 by 12 goes into pile 2. Now there's a letter next to it that says E, and there's an asterisk. Now E is, you can put the letters on. It helps you when you're putting the layouts together. I just eyeball it and try to figure out where the pieces go. It's not usually too difficult, but if you're not sure, you're worried that you might not know where it goes, on the back of it or a post-it note, write 2E on it. Now the asterisk means that it is a flipped over piece. It means that it is used on the back side. So I'm going to put it in the pile this way. All right, now I have 3 more pieces to trim, and each of them are 2.5 inches, and I am currently at 8, so I'm going to go down 7, 6, 5.5, right? So that's 2.5. Double check, chop. I need 2.5 more. 4.5, 3.5, down to 3. Chop. And then I'm just gonna go 2.5, because it's really hard to cut a 1/2 inch strip this way. It's better to have more paper on the trimmer where you can really get an anchor and cut. Now this little tiny 1/2 inch piece that fell off is scrap, and it's really pretty, and the best part is it matches this paper. So look, I'm adding to my future layout pile. And then these only need to be 11.5 inches long. So here I am again. I'm going to pile them all up together and chop that at 11.5 inches. And these all go into pile number 3. Okay, the next paper we have is this beautiful blue. I love this colors of this print. It's very busy. I wouldn't want to use it in huge chunks, but I really do love it. It shows it in a horizontal way, this way on the pattern. I'm just gonna show you that right there. So it goes horizontal on, and this part is on the top. And on the back, if you flip it, the little green ovals should be going vertically. And yep, we got it the right way. So here's what we're gonna do. We have a 1/2 inch strip, a 5.5 inch strip, a 1/2 inch strip, and a 5.5 inch strip. And typically, I mean, I'm like, why wouldn't they just cut a 1/2 inch off, a 1/2 inch off, and then cut it in half? Or why did they put it on here this way? And usually it's because of the way the pattern will look, to make the pattern more even. Like if they're going to use this and this on the same page, for example. So I'm going to cut it the way they show. And the first cut is that 1/2 inch cut. So I'm going to go from 12 to 11.5 and chop. And this piece is going into pile 1. And then I'm going to slide it over 5.5, which puts me at the 6 inch mark. And this piece goes into 1. And then I'm going to do another little 1/2 inch strip that goes into pile 1. And I'm left with 5.5 that goes into pile 1. That was easy. All right, now we have only one piece left. And the way they want it to be is the green on top, and it's going horizontal, and then your florals should be vertical. Now, if you had this turned this way and you flipped it like that, and your florals were not vertical the same way, I would turn it. I would make it right with the photo in the instructions, so that you know the back is horizontal and the flowers are growing towards the sun, right? All right, so with this one, we need 2 10.5 inch pieces by 6. So we're just gonna chop it in half at 6, and then we're gonna stack them, and we're gonna cut this at 10.5. These pieces are extra. This would be great for card bases. They're about almost the same size as like an A2 card, or you could use the back for something. But here's these 2 pieces, and these go in pile 3. So that is all of our main patterns, and then we get to our pattern that is the exclusive pattern. And again, we have this interesting cut here where they did a 2 inch, a 1/2 inch, a 2 inch, a 1/2 inch, a 4 inch. I mean, we have this weird thing. I'm not sure why. All I can think of, because this looks random to me, but I'm just gonna cut it the way it shows so that you see how I follow along. So the first cut is going to be 2 inches. So I'm at 12, I'm gonna go down to 10 and make a cut. It is 2 by 12, and I am putting that in pile 1. And then I'm just gonna do a 1/2 inch, so I'm going to 9.5, and that goes in pile 1. And then I do another 2 inch, so I'm going to 8.5 and then 7.5. I have a 2 by 12 that goes in pile 1, and then I'm going to do another 1/2 inch, and that goes in pile 1. And finally, I need a 4 by 12, so I'm just going to cut this 4 by 12, and that actually goes into pile 2. So I am left with this piece right here, extra. I'm adding it to my scrap pile already. Do you see all the possibilities for future, right? We are on our last page of cutting, which looks like a lot of photo mats. Now here is where I kind of stop for a moment and I look at the cardstock pieces, And if I'm going to alter the layout, if I want my photos to all be like, I don't use 3x4, or all my pictures are gonna be 4x6, so I wouldn't want to cut those. I really pay attention to these photo mats because you obviously have plenty of paper. If you decide you want these 4x4s to be this size instead, like, you have enough paper to make that work. So I'm gonna make them exactly how they're shown, but this is where I would stop a moment and think about, you know, how I'm gonna use my layout. Okay, so before I get to those, I'm gonna use that paper again. Hi, Kelly. This paper I think is gorgeous. I think this paper is, oh, actually, it's the Secret C cardstock they are asking for, not the pattern. So all the cardstock from Stampin' Up! Now for scrapbooking is two-tone. So this is Secret C on the front. It looks black. I realize it looks black, but it's not. It's just very, very dark. If you put it up against black, you would be like, oh yeah, I see it now. If I had a piece of black, I'd show you. Hold on. I have, like, there's black. I pulled that out of my scrap bin. So you can see the difference there in color. All right, and then the back side is light. So when you look at the instructions, it'll say like the front is dark and the back is light. And you see, like, so if you see the asterisk on anything, it would mean flip it over. That's basically on all the cardstocks. Dark side up is the way we want to go. Dark side is the main color, Secret C. So here we need an 8.5 by 11. So I'm going to cut this at 8.5. I'm going to rotate it and turn it at 11. And this piece goes in pile 2. And then this piece that fell off from the bottom right here is a scrap. And then this piece, we need 2 pieces that are 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. Now, they're at 3.5 now. See, now you could make bigger mats, for example. You could alter that. So I'm gonna go from 12 down and cut this at 4 1/4, and then I'm gonna cut this one at 4 1/4, and I have this piece that's extra. And then this one, I'm gonna stack them up, and I'm gonna trim this at 3 1/4. So then I have like a 1/4 inch margin around the whole photo mat. These are scraps. I don't keep everything. These go into number 1. The next piece is Petunia Pop, which is the super bright kind of pinky violet color. And the back is light. I need 2 pieces that are 4 1/4. So I'm gonna go down and cut 4 1/4, and then I'm gonna cut this. So I cut it at basically 7 3/4 and then 4 1/4. And then this chunk right here is extra. Add it to my pile. Now in this case, these 2 pieces are cut identically at 6 1/4. So it gives you 4 photo mats. It gives you a 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, gives you 2 of those, and it gives you 2 of the 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. So I'm just gonna stack these and cut it at 6 1/4. And what's left is 5 3/4. Do I want to leave these whole? Do I want to make these 4 1/4? I'm going to go ahead and cut them to 4 1/4. Normally, in real life, if I wasn't following the directions, this is scrap, I would probably leave those more whole. Leave them all 4 by 6 until I had all my photos ready, you know. These will all go in layout 1. Okay, darling duckling. Oh, we're almost to the end of the cutting. I think this cutting has gone pretty quickly. All right, so you want to make sure you have the dark side up, light side. It's hard to see in my lighting, but there you go. It's because I have my little swing arm in the way here. So we need 2 pieces that are 4 1/4 again. So I'm going to slide from 12 down to 7 3/4. There's 1 piece. And then I would go ahead and just slide it down to cut a second piece, but I like to leave more paper on the trimmer, so I just put it at 4 1/4, which means this piece that fell off is extra. We have a lot of extra. Okay, now these 2 don't get cut exactly the same. One of them is cut 10 inches, so I'm rotating it and I'm cutting it at 10, which leaves me another scrap. And this piece gets put into number 2. And then this piece gets cut at 8. So that leaves me a big scrap, almost like the size of another photo mat. And this piece also goes into number 2. And then we move on to the Granny Apple Green. And you want to make sure that you have the dark side at the up. This one, they flipped it on us. Look at this. So the light side is going to be on the top and the dark side is going to be on the bottom. And we have 3 pieces that we need out of this. So I'm going to flip it over so the light side is up, dark side is down. And the first piece I need is a 1-inch piece. 1. The next piece I need is, well, this is how I trim. I don't do each piece separately. The second piece I need is 4 1/4. And the third piece I need is 4 1/4. So the piece that fell off is scrap. One of these 4 1/4s gets cut at 8 inches. And so I'm going to put it on, cut it at 8. The piece that fell off is scrap. This 8-inch piece gets put in number 3, light side up. And then the second piece that's 4 1/4, you turn it horizontally and you chop it at 8 1/4, which again, this piece will be a scrap. And this piece goes in pile 3, light side up. And then we have this 1-inch piece that goes in horizontally and gets cut at 9 1/2. And so this piece is a scrap. This piece goes in pile 3. And we're done cutting. So I'm going to put my trimmer off. And I just want to real quick show you the scraps that we have left, because we could so easily use these to make another page or some cards. I mean, just like, you know, picture this and this with something on the front. I mean, you could do a lot of different things with these scraps. So worth keeping, right? And you can make another page. I often make extra pages out of those. All right, so we're first going to get ready for this. Now I'm gonna zoom back in a little bit so I'm not so far away, because I want you to see the page a lot better as I build it. If you look at the instructions, it tells you like what order to put things on to the page. Like these are what you prep, like adhere your photos to the mats. And then it says here you can score at the bottom of the 1-inch piece and fold and adhere. It just gives it some dimension. That's their optional technique. And I don't know if I'm going to do that. Do I want to do that? I don't know. All right. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to grab my page here, and make sure that you can see it in the camera. All right. So then I have all of my scraps from the first pile, and I am going to, I should grab my Versamat or something. I'm gonna, instead of grabbing my Versamat, I'm just gonna grab my quilt ruler, and that way it's easier to measure how many inches from where, you know, that they want everything. So basically they're saying there is a photo here, there is a photo here, and there is a photo here. So I would adhere my placeholders in place on all of these, and I think I will. I'm just going to use a tape runner on that. And like I said, I'm just making this the way that I like the plain size calling. This kit is the, I think it's called Memories in Bloom. Memories in Bloom. It's on page 15 in the catalog. I think it's, you know what? If I had like one main thing to tell Stampin' Up, is that their photography is terrible. They do a terrible job at really showing off their products. I wish they would zoom in more and show the detail and just really make it kind of cool, you know. It's so hard to see in that catalog. All right, so we have this, like this is how that goes. And then we are going to have the floral piece, flower side up. I'll put that on in a minute. Floral piece up like this. We have one piece here. And you know, this is why they probably had this way, was because you know, they were probably trying to do some kind of lining up thing. I don't know. Mine doesn't line up, but anyway. And then this goes here, and you have one strip down here. So basically, you're making like wallpaper. I'm messing with my camera again because I want you to see the whole page, and that's really, it's kind of hard to see. Okay. So those are the pieces. Now, what they're saying, and then this will go here. This will go here. And this will go here. A title here. And what they're saying for the optional piece is that, let me see which, I want to double check before I tell you wrong. On this giant piece right here, you can score it at the bottom 1 inch and fold it up. And if you do that, what happens is some of that green side shows. So, let's just do it. I'm like, I'm messing around anyway. Let's just do it. So I'm going to put this in, and make sure my flowers are going the right direction. Score it at 1. Now, in my opinion, I could have just cut this 1 inch off and flipped it over. I don't know. But it does add a little something dimensional to the page, just like that. That's not bad. And then you would do the same thing, I think, on the other piece. Let's see. Yeah. I'm just double checking. So on the right hand page, we'll do the same thing. All right, so let's just get this stuff adhered. I made sure I had plenty of adhesive. For those of you who are joining me Friday evening. If you need any particular kind of adhesive, you might let me know. There's different types available. Or if you've been looking for something in particular, you know. Okay, so we are here. We're going to use the Summer Splash base page, which I already figured out. And then we are going to adhere, basically it tells you to adhere them from top to bottom, like strip, 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 strip. And we're starting at 2.5 inches from the top. So I have adhesive on everything. We're starting at the top. I used my quilt ruler, and I am just going to put my quilt ruler is 3 inches wide. So I'm going to put it across the top at 2.5. I have that line going across the top at 2.5. And then this just goes across, and it's 12 inches, so it goes the whole distance. So I'm just going to follow my ruler line just like that. And then the next piece, there's a 1/4 inch. So since this ruler has each solid line, this is like a square inch, this is a 1/4 inch line, I can just lay it here like that. I hope you can see that okay. And I have a 1/4 inch, and then I can put the next piece on. I can just butt it up to that ruler mark, just like that. Make it straight as possible. And there's a 1/4 inch in between. The next piece down here is just straight up against this other piece. And then at the bottom, there's another 1/4 inch. So I put my ruler at the 1/4 inch right there, and follow my ruler guide. You could eyeball this. If you have been card making or scrapbooking for a long time, this is not a hard thing to do. And then I'm going to leave this up like this, and then my photo mats will go like this, right? And this will just add a little dimension. Sometimes I will put just I could put a dab of glue here or there. It looks like I don't have anything to tuck behind my photos, so I'm just going to adhere all of these. You know, sometimes I would put a little foam tape on some stuff, but all right, I won't. This is about 1 inch from the bottom. If you want to get precise, it calls for 1 inch above the bottom, and then about 1 inch from the side. So when I use my quilt ruler, I hope you can see this. When I use my quilt ruler, I put it at the 1 inch line all the way across, see that? And then I bump this ruler over so it's right at the edge. And then I know this 1 inch mark, I just place my photo down there. See how that works? So it's 1 inch up and 1 inch over. This is how I use my quilting style ruler, the grid rulers. I got this one at Club Scrap, but you can get them all over at sewing stores and stuff. And then this one, it's 1 1/4 from the top. I'm just gonna eyeball it, you guys, because to me, it's just not that precise. And then this one over here would be 2 1/4 inches down, which is actually above. 2 1/4 is actually a little bit above that line. And so whenever I put photos on and I'm leaving a gap in one place, I try to leave the same gap. I think I got that a little bit crooked. Hold on. I eyeballed it. that's what happens when you eyeball stuff sometimes. But I try to leave this gap and this gap, you know, similar in nature, like that. Before I put embellishments on, I want to do the second page because it's going to be almost identical, right? There it is. So basically, it's going to follow the same lines as this one. I need to score the bottom. I have my scoring board, and I'm do that 1 inch mark, make sure my flowers are growing the right direction. And all right, now I'm going to grab my second piece. One thing I noticed with this summer splash paper is there's a little bit of a direction to it, in that these splotches right here are vertical, and this way it would be, you know, horizontal. It might show if you did them different ways. I'm not sure. It's so random. I'm not sure it matters, but I just wanted you to know in case you want yours to be all, you know, the same or whatever. So I'm just basically going to adhere my pieces, and I'm just gonna butt this up against this one and put it right up against it so that they're basically in the same place, right? So what is everybody doing in this heat? Oh my gosh. You know, I went out to water my flowers last night, and it sounds crazy, but it almost felt cooler than in the house after I had been outside for a while. And it kind of reminded me of when we were little, we didn't have air conditioning. See, now that lines up pretty good. You can see that's like an extension. The other one didn't. I don't know why. I don't know. But I was telling my daughter what we used to do when we were kids and we didn't have, you know, central air. We just had a window unit, and my parents would not turn it on during the day. They would only turn it on at night, like when we were watching TV and stuff, and or when we were sleeping. And it wasn't enough necessarily to do the whole house. So sometimes it got pretty warm in the bedrooms and stuff. But oh my gosh, it's just so unheard of now to not have air conditioning. It's everybody in this area of the world anyway has air conditioning. I was just watching one of my favorite cross stitchers on YouTube this morning, and she lives in like the New England area, and they do not have air conditioning. It's just not a common thing there. Isn't that wild? I was just like, wow, I can't imagine. But they don't have that kind of weather all the time. And I think that's why I was just telling Steve that it's frustrating sometimes on the world news when they show all of these crazy heats and stuff. They're always East Coast, and it's never like, they don't talk about it happening in Illinois and Iowa and Indiana. They talk about it on the East Coast, and I'm like, why is that? Are they just biased to where they are located? And then after listening to her, I realized it's because they don't get that kind of weather. That's unusual for them. Who knew? I had no idea. Here I was thinking the newscasters were just being all biased against us. So I thought that, anyway. All right. Wow, this is so beautiful. I don't know. Can you guys see? Are you getting the drift of how pretty this is? I am thrilled. You know, this paper would be beautiful. I know it sounds crazy, but with pictures of my cat, because she is like her coloring, I think this would look really great with that. All right, I'm just gonna, this is 5/8 from the top. So I am going to put my ruler. See what this is so great about a quilt style ruler is that you can put it at the 5/8 line and ta-da, it's great. And it just goes approximately an inch from the edge. And then we have our 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 below that. And then we have a, don't flip that over, a vertical piece that falls, I don't know where it's at, 3/8 of an inch from here, which whatever, and about here. I'm just eyeballing that, you guys, just eyeballing that. Okay, now we can embellish. Let me grab. Now, I am not going to do the title Mother's Day. It's just not going to happen. So I'm going to punch out all the little pieces for one. Lots of tiny little flowers. There's several of them. And then, of course, the title, which I am not going to use. The reason I didn't punch these out earlier is because I thought, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with those titles. I may gift them to somebody if one of you guys want them or something. All right, I punched out. Oh, there's another one. All right, project one. And then basically I'm just looking at my photo of the layout and I'm gonna sort. So there's like 2 of these little flowers down here. And there's this piece right here that goes here. There's another little flower up here. The long piece, journaling piece, goes here. And it looks like this piece with the flowers is over here. And then we have stickers. So let me just look at the left page, make sure I have these in the right place. We have one here, one here. We have one down here by the title. And then I think I may move this one down here because it'll be by the title, and then I'll use one of the stickers up here. I don't know. Since I'm gonna do my own title, I'm gonna do my own thing up here. All right. Sticker wise, we have this sticker that goes here, and celebrate you or love you more. I'm not sure I'm going to put the words on there yet. Again, not completely sure how I'm going to use that page yet. And then you can see it, love you more, celebrate you, the fun, kind, and loving all go off to the side here. And then we have this sticker also over here. So there you go. There is this piece right here. I think I'm going to put this piece flat on the page because I'm going to journal on it. Normally I would put it with foam tape because, and I am going to keep, I'd be tempted to foam tape this, y'all, because I like dimension. It's very hard not to. I'm sorry. It takes so long to watch someone foam tape things, but I'm gonna do it because it just makes, to me, it makes more sense to have that popped up a little. So I have been going through Stephanie's stuff, and I have to tell you, I am, even though I'm really sad that she doesn't get a chance to use all of it and that kind of thing. I'm also, it's kind of exciting also to see other people's stuff. Is that sick and twisted or what? But it is so much fun. It kind of reminds me of going, you know, going to Daisy Lane and going shopping or something, because you know, you're basically just like looking at someone else's stash, and it's kind of fun to see what someone else was really drawn to, and what taste they had and how they used things, you know. I purposefully am leaving that on because this is going to be on top of my photo, and I want to be able to, you know, put my photo in without it running into that tape. So again, this is down here. I'm not really totally sure I love these little tiny flowers, but I'm gonna go ahead and put them on. To me, they're too scattery. I may have to add some gems, and that would be just fine if I added a few gems. I think I'd be pretty happy with that. And I like them overlapping. The photos are connecting to something on the page, if that makes sense, right? Now this, if I was gonna put the words on, the kind, loving, fun thing over here, I would put them on foam tape, and I would only put tape on half of them. Or the other thing that you can do, which is a great idea, this is a Karen Pedersen classic idea, is to take a piece of your sticker paper that you would throw away normally, like this, and use it. So like if I want to put fun right here, and I know that it's gonna overlap my photo a little bit, I would put this sticker sheet right there, and I would put the word fun, right? And then like sweet, I'm gonna use the word sweet, I don't know, sweet, like that, fun, sweet, I don't know what they used, fun, kind, and loving. I like kind. So in other words, in the future, what I would do when I'm ready to put my photo on, this is just sticker back. It'll just peel right off. I can put my photo in and then just get rid of this piece and stick that down. See, that page is gorgeous. Oh my gosh. And it's done, which is great. One down. Now this one has, this one is the title page, which I am not doing all of the title, but this sticker goes right here, and I am going to foam tape it because I want to do that trick again where I don't adhere it, you know, to where my photos go. Cutting these a little long. All right. So I want this here, and I want it to overlap my photo. So I'm not going to peel the back of this off. I'm just going to peel the back off of these two. Now this is really easy to do with dimensionals. It just takes longer because you have all those strips. So I'm going to put this like this. This part's stuck, this part's not. My picture can still slide in there, no problem. These two little pieces, I think I'm gonna center them. They have like the words "Celebrate You" right there. I don't know that I'm going to use that, but I'm gonna relocate these flowers just a little bit. And then when I put words there, it'll be above the words. I like that. And then this calls for a couple of little stickers down here. I'm gonna wait on that just because I'm not really sure, again, what photos I'm gonna use. But there is the page. There's the 2-page spread. Ta-da! That is so pretty, you guys. Good work. Love it, love it. One down. And we are at the hour mark, and we have done all the cutting and one full layout. And this layout looks pretty easy. So I think we're in good shape to be totally, completely finished soon. So this one calls for a secret C, exclusive page, not cardstock page. Exclusive page, and it shows the little pattern running vertical, but you could do whatever you wanted. And then this is the prep piece. You can have a torn edge on the Secret C piece if you want. And there's, hold on you guys, I'm sorry. Stop now. So sorry. UPS making a delivery and Moose just hates him. I don't know why. He brings him treats, but whatever. Okay, so if you tore this towards you, there's a white core and you would see the white. If you tear it away from you, you're not going to see the white. So it depends on what you want. I'm gonna make it the way they did. I'm gonna flip it over to the light side and I'm gonna tear about a 1/2 inch off, and you can see I'm tearing towards me, and then the side I'm going to use will not have that white core. Another way to do this, if you're worried about that, making it nice and straight or whatever, just put it at the edge of your table. It really does work pretty well to do that. And then this piece will go here, and then it tells you to adhere photos to your photo mats. So there is a long piece and a short piece, and if I would have labeled them, I would know. The long piece goes on the left, on the right-hand page, and the short piece goes on the left-hand page. And it is also torn. And if you want the white showing, you would tear it towards you. And if you don't want it showing, away from you. Now this time I'm going to show you, I want the white showing, and I'm going to tear that. And it shows there will be 2 3x4 photos on here. Now the other thing, sometimes I don't put this on at all. And then, you could put, it's pretty easy to put a 4x6 instead. I mean, that's basically the same size. So I'm not going to put the photo holders in place here. Also on this page is this piece, which will go right there. And that little strip that we made. Where did my little strip go? It's a 1/2 inch strip. Oh, it's sticker. Okay, so let's go ahead and adhere this first. And I am putting this on the Secret C cardstock so that there is an even border all the way around. I'm looking at this border, looking at the edges, and I'm just centering it kind of all the way around. It doesn't have to be perfect, and mine is never perfect, so there you go. And then I am going to adhere this to the page. And it shows about 2 inches from the top. So again, with my quilt ruler trick, I go to the 2-inch mark. It's a 3-inch ruler, so I'm gonna have 1 inch hanging off at the top. And then it is about 1 inch from the left edge also. So if I bump that ruler over and then go 1 inch in and follow my ruler, I will be right where I need to be. Bam, bam. This, and then this little piece right here gets added after our sticker. So one of the stickers is this cool strip, and you'll notice it's not a full 12 inches. And it is also torn at the edge, just like the paper. You could tear it with or without the white showing. And then you're just kind of putting this at the bottom about I would say with 1 inch showing down here, and just make it, yeah, as straight as you can, just like that. And then we're gonna put our darling duckling, and we're gonna make the tear on the left-hand side. And you can pick if you'd rather have the lighter side showing or the dark. I mean, you know, you make this the way you want it to look. When I put photos onto cardstock, I tend to like the darker side better, just because so little of it shows in the long run. And then this just basically goes here. I think I might move that over a little. Too late. It's stuck. Boy, that's stuck. And then while I have this out, I am going to go ahead and punch out the pieces for this page. What else? Number 2. There's a lot of punched pieces for project 2. So I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna put them up here. This is my happy place. That would be nice for, so one of the things that I do, I go to Disney, not every year, not all the time, but when I go, a lot of my photos are the same. I mean, you know, you go, everybody gets a castle picture. I always get, you know, floral scenery, different rides, different foods or whatever, and they may be a little different, but for the most part, your pictures are similar. And if you go more than once, like me, you have a tendency to see like the same pictures over and over again. So I like my paper to be really different. I don't want all of my pages to look like the traditional Disney style, the Disney style. I don't want them to be blue and red and yellow and black. That's like their traditional whatever. I just am like, yeah, I just don't. Now they have this tucked behind where you would have it poking out. And the only thing that really shows in their photo is that much, not very much. I kind of like the whole thing. I kind of like it. So I'm going to photo tape it, foam tape it, and let me just get more. And then This would be on top of my photo possibly. So I'm really only going to adhere that side. That's it. And I'm gonna put it right here. It shows that this goes up here. This goes right here. I just don't want to go past the 12-inch mark. And then I can, you know, tuck a photo behind it if I want, or I can move it. It won't matter what I decide to do later. And then this needs to go here, and obviously it's very hard to write once you put foam tape on something. I would recommend not. I've done that. Unless you cover it solidly with dimensionals or something, I would not do that. Now, one of the things that they have on here is a sticker that says perfect together. I think I'm going to go ahead and use it because I think that's generic enough that it would go with almost any of my photos. Even if I put photos on here from, I don't know, Epcot or something, it would still work, right? Okay, I'm gonna just cut another piece of sticker sheet. This is just off of my stickers. And this making memories piece, oh, it's not even a sticker. I thought it was a sticker. There you go. Never mind. I'm just gonna put adhesive here and not on the rest of it. And then this goes right here. And I'm just gonna let that glue down a minute. Then I'll be able to put my photos in. See, it'll cover up. It'll be on top of my photos. I'm cool with that. And then it also calls for a double sticker. Which I'm foam taping. I foam tape everything. My books are probably ridiculous. You guys are probably like, whoa. One thing I learned is that when I inherited all of my mother's, and there's one over here also. When I inherited all of my mother's albums, she did her thing, I did my thing. I don't care what you do, you're gonna have a ton of albums if you really are scrapbooking like everything in your life, and they're wonderful to look through. They're absolutely wonderful. Look at that, it's done. Isn't that great? I love it. Okay, let's go to the next page while you're time. Anyway, so yeah, I have like scads of albums from my mom and my own, and I don't care. I love them. All right, so this page, it starts with the Secret C cardstock base, and then this is the page where we have the strips. So this strip of pattern goes all the way over here to the right, and then this strip of pattern goes next to it, and then we have a floral strip. If I could lift it, goes right here. And then this one gets torn at the bottom and goes here, and this is where our photos are held. So it's a very basic page. It's a cool idea though. Just imagine, like, use this with any of your paper packs. Use this pattern and you get to show off 3 major patterns. Yay. Plus cardstock, which I think is fabulous. So, and if you really hated it, I mean, look, you could flip. You could do other things. I don't hate it. I love it. So I'm putting adhesive on all these pieces because that's the part that always feels like it takes forever. This is a vertical. If you did a horizontal on your prior page, it might be weird to have one page going vertical and one horizontal, but maybe it would look fine. I don't know. But it's just a mention. This piece does not get, make sure your flowers are going upright. This piece, basically, it shows it like 3.5 inches down. My ruler is a 3-inch ruler, so I can eyeball about 1/2 inch down, and it's about a 1 inch in, so somewhere around there. It's not rocket science, people, right? An inch, about 3.5, good. This one gets torn, and you know, on the other one I tore it so the white shows. So I need to tear it again so the white shows, just to be consistent. And this is going to go vertical. Now there are some pieces kind of tucked into this one, so I am only going to put adhesive in the center so that I can tuck if I need to. And then this, I like having a lot of the pattern show there. So it goes about here. Now this one has a couple of photo placeholders that are 4x4s. And it looks to me like, yes, you could do a 4x6 and then journaling at the bottom if you wanted to. But that's kind of the gist of how this one's supposed to look. And then at the bottom, this is my happy place, which I'm gonna go ahead and put that on. See, that's perfect. That would be perfect for Disney, right? Love these days. This goes right here. And there is a giant sticker on the sticker sheet that will go behind it. So this will go right there. Actually, you know what? I probably mixed up the sticker sheet. Like the other page, I think, had the 3 branched out stickers. That's this one, and this one was for the other. But it looks great. I'm not unhappy. I don't hate it. It's fine. If you're doing, if you're just watching, don't do as I do all the time. I don't know. I think it helps to watch somebody else put them together once, because then yours goes so much faster. One thing I've noticed, we're at 3:10, so we're in an hour and 10 minutes messing around with this. I enjoy the process, so I don't try to speed through everything, but honestly, it really does kind of help to see the tips and tricks and things if somebody else does them first. And there, I like that so much. And then it calls for some yellow flowers. There's one at the top, one at the bottom, and then a double. And oh, and then there's some over here also. So let's do the one I almost forgot. Let's do this one here. And then I think all my yellow stickers I'm going to put on dimensionals. So now, one thing you will notice a lot of people do when they're doing stickers with a dimensional with foam, some people will use like one of those anti-static pouches or something to take the sticky off. I personally do not find that I need that. My books don't, even when they get a little bit crushed, don't seem to make the stickers stick in weird places, if that makes any sense at all. These are not adhered, just so you know. I didn't put them on crooked, they're just not adhered. I'm gonna put this with the words instead of over here. They show another photo here, right? And I may use that. I actually would probably use that more for more journaling, but I kind of like how that looks without the photo there, but that is another situation. Anyway, I have 2 more yellow photo arts flowers. I don't know if I finished my thought, but basically I don't typically worry too much about the stickers sticking down. And if you are, just put a bigger piece of foam tape on the other side. Use like 2 dimensionals, and then don't sweat it from there. All right. And then I think I'm just gonna put this here. I like that. I'm gonna go ahead and put the photo placeholder on here, just so I know, I remember, because I may not. And this one I'm gonna leave off only because I may use a 4x6. And that page is done, y'all. It is done. And here is that one. Put them together. Boy, that is so pretty. That is gorgeous. I kind of like it this way better. I know it's supposed to be the other way, the way they designed it. I don't know, but either way, there's the second layout. I love it. Woo! On to number 3. Number 3 has some weird colors in it for me, but we're using white cardstock bases for it. And I'm gonna lay out pieces. All right, so you can see all those little pieces that we cut. I'm just pulling those over and making sure they're all the same size. Remember, one of those green ones that we cut was a 1/4 inch bigger, and I can't remember which side is which, so I just want to make sure I remember that. We have all of our strips. And let's see here. So we have a strip here, a strip here, and then 1, 2, it looks like we have another strip here. And a strip here. And then on the other page, we're going to have these 2 strips. Now, the optional thing on this page right here is scoring. And the way they scored them, let's see, the instructions are to score at the 1/2 inch mark on the side, and then see they fold over and you see the back of each piece right there. So it shows off the 2-sidedness, if you want to call it that, of each thing. So when you put it in your scoreboard, make sure you have it pretty solid into the corner so you get a nice straight 1/2 inch mark line, because it would be easy to get that crooked. And then, so you can kind of see what I'm talking about there, right? There's one. And this is an optional thing. If you hate this, don't do it. Although I think that extra pop-up color really does seem to add to this page. And so it's kind of an interesting technique that they're showing. And I cannot say in all the years of doing layouts that I have scored and folded my paper this way. I have done a lot of the, the fold back idea, like when you do the big triangle and fold some of it back, but this is different. This is unique. So, and on all of them, they scored the right hand side so that the extra little 1/2 inch that shows is on the right side. So there's the left page. And then on the other page, same, more of the same. They did the same. So, oh, I jumped the channel. So, all right, make sure I get that. There's one. So, when you scrapbook, I don't know what you have within reach all the time, what your go-to tools are, but for me, I'm lucky enough to have a workstation that allows a lot of space for me to move things around. All right, I'm just gonna glance at the last page over here and see where this piece goes. Okay, so it goes at the top. And it appears the shorter one goes here with, I'm getting out my photo layouts here. So 1, 2, that appears to be the right-hand page, and this is under here. Now, I would never in a million put those patterns together, would you? I mean, look at that. But it's gonna work, and so there you go. It's different, but I like it. I think I'm okay with it. And then I am not going to use the title that says Our Family because, like I said, sometimes I keep the titles with it. I just don't always use them right away. I just like to make sure that my oh, I think those will be swapped. I just like to make sure that my layout, my photos click with my title. I never want my title that I had pre-put on there to stop me from using a page. All right, let's put some adhesive on these babies. We are almost done. Can you believe it? Almost done. Unreal. I'm just gonna set these in a row off to the side so I don't adhere my hands and everything else onto them. I tend to do that. I'm really sloppy when I do things this way, but this is part of my assembly line style. I mean, I liked, it takes so long to like cut a paper, move a paper, attach a paper. I mean, I would rather cut everything, apply everything, put adhesive on everything. You know, I really prefer. Now, since this one is stripes, it is kind of important to use some kind of ruler or grid. And this is a 1/2 inch in. And the reason I say it's important to use some kind of ruler or grid is that once your first stripe is straight, the rest of them will fall into line. They're not necessarily butt up to each other, but it really does help in getting your strips straight. And these go all the way up to the top, and there's no space at the top, and most of the space that's left over will be at the bottom. And then we go to the next piece, and there is a 1/4 inch in between. So see, I'm putting my 1/4 inch mark all the way down the edge of that piece. Just zoom in a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. So my 1/4 inch mark is right there on the edge of that pink. And then this goes all the way up to the top again. And as straight as possible. Boom. it would help if my score was a little straighter. I think I got my score a little bit off on that one. And then here we are with the pink again, and there's a 1/4 inch. So I'm putting that 1/4 inch mark along the edge of that strip, and I'm pushing down really hard. The strip goes to the top of the page and follows the ruler down. Keep in mind, it doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, honestly, everybody who looks at this page is going to be looking at the photos. They're not going to be looking at your artwork necessarily, like as the details. They'll look at the general gist of the page. So if you have something a little crooked or a little off or something that you think is not perfect, your family's not going to see it. I guarantee it. All right. So the next thing we do is this piece right here, and I'm going to use a little more adhesive than I normally would because of the bumps of the scores. And then it shows that it is 1 7/8 from the bottom. Okay, again, can we just eyeball that? But you can put your grid ruler, here's the 2 inch mark, 7/8 is 1/8 smaller, so I'll just slide it there. I hope you can see, I slid it 1/8 down, and then this touches, I'm gonna push hard to keep it straight, this touches the right hand side, and we'll just follow your ruler. And since you're going against the bumps, go from the right to the left and adhere it. It's going to make it a little dimensional. If you wanted, and if you were a close to my heart person, you'd be putting foam strips all over the back of this. That's just what they did. Not going to today. And I kind of do like the dark, but it calls for the light, so I'm going to put the light on. It doesn't matter. I like them all. And it's about 3/4 inch from the bottom. Now, why? It's not centered onto this piece. And again, it goes all the way over to the right-hand side, like that. And then you have your photo mats here. Okay, woohoo! Look at us. Now on this page, we have these big flowers from the punch-out sheet that go over here. All Things Grow with Love is on that page. I am not using that. That's one of my least favorite titles of all time, because a long time ago, it was something they used in nursing a lot as I don't know why, but it was just used a lot. Grow with kindness, grow with love, grow with whatever. This goes on the other page. So what we have left is Our Family, which is this layout, and Mother's Day, which was the first layout. And then stickers. We have several various flowers that are used on this page, and a couple of strips, which I don't see on here. So here's this page right here. We are going to be done in no time flat with all of this. Can you believe that? I'm shocked. I'm shocked. This is not taking me near as much time as I thought it would. And it's gorgeous, y'all. Gorgeous. Now, normally I would not use foam tape on this piece because it has some journaling spot. But what I'm going to do, and this is a trick that I do a lot, I'm going to make sure I have a solid piece of tape across the area where I'm going to write, so that if I journal something in here, I'm not falling into the bumps of my foam tape on the back. And then you don't necessarily need to have, like if you were using dimensionals on the back, you would want to use a solid row where you're going to be writing. Ask me how I know. You should see how crazy my writing looks on some of those pages where I got skimpy on the dimensionals or the foam tape. Oh, not good. Not good. All right, I'm just going to put this here. And then this is going to overlap my photo just a little. But I'm not going to do too much because I'm not sure what size of photo that I'm going to be using. So, like, if I put these two here, and then this goes here, I don't even have tape on the edge, so I'm just going to do that. Like that. Oh, I see. They did use some of that sticker. They didn't use the whole sticker. They used part of that sticker. Okay, hold on a minute. I'm gonna lift this up. I hadn't pushed down hard on it yet, so I can lift that for a moment. And then this has just a little piece of peach that goes to the edge of the page. I bet there's probably some on the other side too, so I'll leave that sticking there. Yeah. And then since I peeled up this adhesive, I'm going to put a few dots of glue on here. This is another trick if you use foam tape and you know, foam tape sticks. It sticks like, it's done. And so if you need a little moment to move it around, don't be afraid to put just a little liquid glue so you can slide it around. And it just adds to how it adheres. It's not like, it doesn't screw anything up. All right, there's that page done. Ta-da! I'll show you all the pages in just a moment. And we are on our very last page. Wow, I allowed 2 hours for today, and I think I'm doing pretty well. All right, let's put some adhesive on these strips. Those are the first pieces that go down. And they show this one going down first at a 1/2 inch from the edge. So I'm going to put my ruler. Let me just, I'm trying to move my, sorry. Woo, just so you could see a little better. 1/2 inch from the edge. And again, it goes all the way to the top. And then this piece has a 1/4 inch. Make sure your flowers are going the right direction. All the way to the top. Just like that. I'm gonna use my ruler and smash those down a little more. Okay, and then we have our beautiful green. Now, this piece right here, again, I'm going to use just a little more adhesive on this than I normally would, and I want it to line up with the facing page. So I'm going to bring the facing page in. I'm going to line those two up together, and I am going to put this bumped up just like that, so that when it goes onto the page, you know, in your album, it's nice and flowy. All right. And then we have this, which we know was a weird 3/4 of an inch from the bottom, which I thought was strange, but now that we did it once, we have to do it again. So I'm gonna take my ruler and I'm gonna go 3/4 of an inch from the bottom, and it goes all the way bumped to the left edge, just like that. And again, the photo placeholders for 3x4. See, I always flip them over. I don't like these. I don't like these numbers showing. It's nice if you forget, but these are pretty standard, 3x4, 4x4, 4x6. So I don't need the numbers. And what's really nice is if you decide to turn this into a journaling space later, you can just use that. You can use it just how it is. You don't have to, you know, do anything to it. The other thing about those is that sometimes it's really, really nice to put a different size photo there. Maybe you have a different size photo, and you know, if you put these in place, yes, you can put a 4x6 photo on top of it. You can, but I don't always put these placeholders down because you can fiddle around. You could even, I mean, honestly, you could use, just imagine if you had totally different photos and you wanted to put photos vertical here. You could just totally do that because the flowers go over here like this. It's gonna be great, you know what I mean? So I don't always put the placeholders down. I've noticed Stephanie must not have either, because I noticed she has gobs of them. If you feel like you use all of yours and you could use even more, let me know, because holy moly, group, I have gobs of them now. Okay, let's start adhering stickers and call it done. I'm happy. All right, so over here we have this piece with this sticker. I'm looking at the photo. This sticker will overlap the photo just a little bit. So let's just imagine 2 3x6 photos here. This one will go here. This one, this will overlap just a little. So we need something non-sticky, like on this part, right? So that we can pull that out later if we need to, when we put our photo in, right? And then this, I'm just gonna glue down. It goes here. I'm gonna take this out just for, because it's kind of, when it's not adhered and it looks crooked, it confuses me. And then here is our foam tape situation. And oh, and we have a little bit of sticker showing down here as well. And they have it like here. I don't know why, but here to here, and then they cut it off. I'm just gonna make it go to the edge of the green. They actually have it, some of the green showing right there. I don't need that. And now I have this piece. All right. Now, let's just say I'm worried about this covering the photo, but I put my tape on the wrong direction. Here is my trick for doing that. I will take my scissors. You don't have to cut. You can just, but I can just make a score line with my scissors across my foam tape, and then only remove part of the backing. This is my trick that I do a lot. You could also do the sticker trick where you tuck a piece of sticker paper in there, but this way my photo will fit inside of there. I'm just gonna do that. You can see I can tuck under, it's not stuck down, and it'll look great. Ta-da! Like that. All right, now the other thing on this page, they have this sticker, this sticker and this sticker like as a cluster. And so I'm going to just layer these together like this. And I want to leave room for a title, so I'm moving mine over. Theirs is placed on the green, about 3 inches over maybe. Like theirs is like here. And then they have the title, but I want to leave a little more space for my title, and I'm going to put this over here. I'm still putting it on the green space. I do like that. The other thing that I think this page would be beautiful is if we took some ink and sponged behind these flowers just to make them pop a little more. It would be really nice in this color right here. I think that's Calypso Coral. Good Lord, don't quote me. But there you go. There's that. Okay. And then we have just a few other stickers. And this page is done. So this has a... this has some stickers, I think, down here at the bottom, but it's hard to see on that photo, and I don't love them, so I'm not going to use them. Over here, they've got this cluster behind these. Now, here's another tip if you are like me and you use foam tape. And let's just say I want this tucked, but there's foam tape back there, and I can't go any farther, and it won't tuck in enough. Just trim away the part of the sticker that it's not going to show, and it's going to look tucked, right? I just took that off, and look, it looks like I tucked it back there. I'm getting rid of it. And then that's part of that. I was looking to see if they used this piece of greenery anywhere. I don't see it. But that doesn't mean it's not here, but I think I would use it. And they show this piece tucked in up here. Oh, there's the green piece. I found it. All right, so it's a cluster like this, up here at this. Again, my foam tape is keeping me from tucking really well, so I'm just gonna trim my sticker a little bit and tuck that in, and you cannot tell. Can't tell. All right, that's it. I'm not using All Things Grow with Love. These go to you could use a lot of these other little word pieces. And I didn't put my titles on. And the only thing, oh, and there is a little piece of green. Where did I see that again? Oh, they put it up here at the top. Let's see if it's too late. Probably not. I did not put liquid glue on stickers, so you can always peel those up and re-glue them. That's usually not an issue. And then I forgot to put that piece on. It goes here. And it looks like it's centered on that, so that's interesting. And then this, I'm gonna just put a little bit of glue, if I can get my glue going. And that's it, y'all. That's it. So we are done with our layout. Our layouts are done. Let me just show you the finals here. This is gorgeous. This is layout number 3. Layout number 2. And layout number 1. Oh my gosh, under 2 hours for the whole thing. If I would have put photos on, it would have taken me about probably another 20 minutes because I would have had them pre-cut. But I think that's pretty good for this many layouts in that amount of time, and I hope you love it. I'm gonna get out my gems because I like sparkle and glitz on all of mine, and I'll add some gems. But overall, this is a great layout, and I have a lot of things left over. I still have some sticker. I have lots of paper. I could totally make some cards or another layout with that. So, all right, have a fabulous day. I will see you Friday, and try to stay cool. Woohoo! Bye-bye.